here and welcome back to the video. Today I'm going to tell you how I started a nonprofit by accident, but first I'm going to go hit the gym. Alright, so I just got out of the gym and it's a little difficult to film and work out, so I just filmed my first couple workouts and then just worked out because it was taking way too long to try to film stuff as well. Plus, I can just use my iPhone in the gym. I don't like getting out of camera, like a big camera, unless if I have somebody with me. Like that's just strictly my filmer at the gym, but it's a little weird wherever the gym's crowded, and it was a little crowded this morning. But hey, so the Philippines. I started a nonprofit, and the reason why I'm kind of going over all this is I turned 30 in like 5 days. When this comes out, I will be like 3 days from turning 30, which is just like mind-blowing. But yeah, I traveled to the Philippines the first time in 2017, and I had no intention of starting a nonprofit. Only thing I wanted to do was do good. So I would drive all over the islands. I had these little Hot Wheels cars that I would pull over and give to kids on the side of the road that were playing with rocks or whatever, you know. Or if a kid was crying on the ferry or the airplane, I would give them a Hot Wheels car. And it just kind of continued to spiral from there. Then shortly, me and my friend Jane, I had the great idea. I went to Sikihor and I noticed all these kids were playing with basketballs, and they love basketball, but the basketball leather was like coming off like of the ball while they were playing. And I was like, well, that doesn't seem right, but I can fix that. So then I went back to Dumaguete, which is like an hour ferry ride, grabbed 10, 12 basketballs, aired them up, because I didn't know if I could get an air pump on the island, which come to think of it, they have motorbikes, so there would have been air pumps there. I just wasn't thinking, and aired up basketballs, carried a giant bag of basketballs onto the ferry, and me and Jane drove all over the island and gave them away. And that was the first time that I was in the Philippines, and after that, I was hooked. After getting back to the US, I wanted to do more, and luckily Jane wanted to do more too. One of her friends is a kindergarten teacher, and they happened to want to get their kids Christmas toys for Christmas. And it just pretty much fell into place where I was like, hey, I can help you out with that. So we helped them with that, and then about 7 months later, they needed school supplies and wanted to remodel their classroom. So I was like, hey, I can do that too. And in 2019, I made the decision I was gonna move back to the Philippines. Or I was actually not gonna move back to, I was gonna move to the Philippines. And this was a pretty big deal because it was, oddly enough, I kind of manifested it. The first time I was in the Philippines, I fell in love with the people, fell in love with the culture, and I was like, you know, one day I'm gonna live here. And little did I know, I did not know it was gonna be like 2.5, 3 years later. I did not realize it was gonna be that quick. But I kind of manifested moving to the Philippines. So once I moved to the Philippines, that was a very kind of special time for me because I happened to be there a couple months right before Christmas, and I got to actually donate toys again to that kindergarten class, and actually got to meet the kindergarten class rather than seeing pictures and having Jane do all the legwork and everything. I actually got to go there with my friend Catherine and Shay and give the kids, like physically hand them the toys, which was extremely, extremely special to me. As soon as I came to the Philippines though, I started just doing little odd projects. I would go buy a lot of school supplies and go into the fishery and give out school supplies, which is kind of more of a poverty-stricken area in Dumaguete. And then I started doing bi-weekly rice drops where I would go buy 80 kilograms of rice and just go into the fishery and hand it out to people. It was just kind of one of those deals that I wanted to do. I had no intention of starting a nonprofit, like zero. This was just my project. I just wanted to basically build up the community that I wanted to live in and kind of like just kind of find a way to be welcome. Okay guys, so after being in the Philippines for 4 months, sorry, I'm on the way to a meeting and I'm running a little behind, so I'm gonna walk and talk. After being in the Philippines for 4 months, I decided I was gonna run home for my nephew's birthday party. And little did I know, I wasn't going to be able to make it back. I was home for about 3 weeks, the world shut down. However, I still wanted to do more. The Philippines is my home virtually. I absolutely love the Philippines, so it was very difficult for me to like just stop everything. So luckily I continued to do food drops. I had Shay and Mayan, they were 100% on board. This was all my money dumping over to it though, and it was like, it started to be extremely draining. Like the amount of money I was spending was just crazy. So by I would say November, I started to really run on fumes. Financially, I was running on fumes for Knight's Toys. And at this point, I named it Knight's Toys, but there was no way I was thinking about a foundation. Till my sister said, finally, Beau, you need to tell people about this project. You can't just keep on doing it yourself. So finally I said, okay, whatever. We'll do your Instagram Live and we'll have a $500 goal. That'll keep Knight's Toys afloat for at least another month, if not 2 or 3. We may have to make smaller projects because at that point we were doing about 1 to 2 drops per month. And I was like, we may have to do smaller projects, but that'll keep us afloat. Well, long story short, dog's not very happy. We did the Instagram Live and it was a massive hit. Within, I would say, 7 days, $2,000 like raised over, we had a $500 goal for 1,000 meals and $2,000 raised. We gained like donors that were reoccurring from that simple Instagram Live, and it's just continued to get bigger and bigger and bigger. But without doing that Instagram Live, without my sister, thank God for Lindy. Without Lindy, it would have stopped there. Ever since about December 1st, whenever we did that Instagram Live, everything has slowly started to fall into place. I still don't see myself as a nonprofit guy whatsoever, but I've had an incredible lawyer that's helped me set stuff up, get everything submitted. I have 2 awesome employees right now, Mayan and Jane, that are continuing to do 2 to 3 drops in the Philippines per month. Plus, I'm doing stuff whenever I can in Mexico. I try to do 1 drop a month here in Mexico, however, it's just, if I'm in Guadalajara and stuff like that, this month I solely dedicated on this project you're about to hear about. And like, we are just continuing to grow and get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's just mind-boggling how I got here. That is basically the long story short on how I created a nonprofit by accident, and that leads into the big announcement. So I've been working on a project here in Guadalajara for about the last month, and it's been one of my sole focuses other than like YouTube and just, I've had a couple projects here I've worked on as well throughout the city. I made a website, and I didn't just want to make a website that was just a foo-foo like just a website. I wanted to make a fully integrated website that makes donations easy. Now we have one-time and recurring all through the website. I wanted to make it so you could see what was going on, so you really felt a connection with Knight's Toys. And whenever I say that you're in the family, you're really in the family. So hey, scroll down below. It's linked in the description. Click on the website and join the Knight's Toys family. You can sign up for the newsletter, you can make a donation, you can make recurring donations. It's been a long time coming, and I personally never thought I was gonna have a non-profit ever. This strictly just started out me just wanting to do good and build up a community. All of a sudden now, the ball keeps on rolling, and we have more and more stuff. So hey, thank you so much for watching. Click the link, join the Knight's Toys family, and until next time, Beau out.